So I thought I would change things up a little bit, and I realized I've been doing this for quite a while, and it's a slow process, and I thought, hey, maybe I could help speed up someone else's process and get them further along. So, yeah, here we go. I'm going to start out with the practical handbook for the actor. Yeah, I said that right. It's backwards to me. Okay, so this one is an essential because it really just gives like a good basics. And when I actually took a class on this, and I was actually pretty like already well trained in a lot of areas and stuff, and there actually is some like different things I've learned about this, even though there's a lot of like generic things that I already knew. It's a quick rundown, and I really suggest studying this type of thing even if you are more established and have more training, because it's really great for auditions, like specifically quick turnaround auditions. It'll help you make more bold choices and be in the moment without having to like spend all of that time to dig out a character, because sometimes you don't really have that much time to actually do that for an audition, because hey, life, you probably have a job and other stuff like that, and you've got 2 days to turn this audition in. So definitely look into this. I'll give you a little snippet. So it's really objective based type thing, which is great for auditions. And there's one thing that it goes into, like your as if, and it's very similar to the magic if, but there is some subtle differences in it, which I strongly suggest you check out. But a quick rundown is basically like you figure out like what your character is, what their objective is, and what their action is, and basically what their like subtle action is. And then you try to correlate that to your personal life. It can be something totally different. Like they use the example like you're screaming at someone to come home, and how that relates to you. They say it's as if you broke your mother's prized family heirloom and she threw you out of the house, and so you're trying to beg for their forgiveness. So there's like subtle things like that, how you can relate that to yourself to bring up that emotion and that like need and desire type thing. So yeah, definitely check this one out. I could go on and on and on about Michael Caine forever and his book. So this is like a must. If you're a theater actor, read it, because it'll definitely give you some respect for film actors, because I feel like there's a little bit of, I don't know, theater actors kind of sometimes don't respect film actors like they should. And it's vice versa sometimes, specifically for the actors who just want to be famous and they haven't ever done theater, which do theater. If you've never done it, do it. It's a huge learning lesson, even if you only want to do film for the rest of your life. Do a couple plays. But this book is amazing. Okay, he is just like so insightful and genius. Just a quote: "Acting is not a competition. Everything must be done for the good of the film, or everybody else loses." He goes into how like the differences in the wide shots and the close-ups, and how you have to like, you know, hold your continuity but also like essentially minimize some of the things. One thing I've noticed is a lot of people who haven't necessarily done theater or had like real good training, you know, they've only done like workshops or something, they haven't had like a long-term training with a coach, they tend to understand the fact that like you have to like be different and like, you know, not woo ah ha on camera like you can in theater, but lots of the times these people are super awkward to look at in the wide shot, because they're so focused on, oh, I can't move, it's a camera, that like it comes across like what are they doing? Nobody holds their hands like that, or, you know, why aren't they moving their body in this wide shot? And then, you know, vice versa, you get the people who are like in an up close shot and they're just like all over the place, you know? And he goes into like eye movements, which is really awesome. And after reading this book the first time, I started paying attention to that when I would watch like movies and shows and stuff. Yeah, he's an absolute genius. I originally borrowed this book from a friend, and I absolutely loved it. And I gave it back to her, and she gave it to another friend, and that friend never gave it back. So I went out and bought it. I bought it used because, you know, why not? This person already underlined like a ton of stuff because he's just so genius. Yeah. Ugh, I don't even know like where to start on this. There's just so much. Just read it. Read it, read it, read it. And then reread it. I wanted to own it because it's a book that I definitely wanted to like come back to and stuff. Yeah. So, I can't recommend this book enough. Oh, there is one quote that I know. Theater acting is like surgery with the scalpel, and film acting is like surgery with the laser. Genius. He has other books that I want to read. They're at the library, so I plan on reading them at some point. Also, just a fun fact, use your library, people. They're pretty up to date and they're really amazing, and you'd be surprised what's there. And if not, there's a good website called Thrift Books. That's where I got this for like $6. Honestly, everybody should read this book, actor or not. This book is so amazing, so I'm putting it on the list. It actually has nothing to do with acting, but it's about finances. And if you're an actor, you understand that that's important. You have to get your finances in order. And yeah. And he really gets into like taking risks, and it's super motivational. And, you know, just like he's like, you got to take risks in life. And he's also all about giving, you know, he's like, yeah, you want to make money, but you have to give money to make money. Like, you have to give out and give back to the world in order to get money back in. That's just how it works. Anyway, so one like little quote says, the primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they manage fear. Once people have studied and become financially literate, they may still face roadblocks to becoming financially independent. There are 5 main reasons why financially literate people may still not develop abundant asset columns that could produce large cash flow. The 5 reasons are fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. And I feel like this kind of stuff really goes into the acting side of things too, because I know a lot of actors, like, they have the fear of rejection, so they don't ever actually pursue it, or they don't take those risks. They get cynical towards the people who are being successful. And I'm preaching to the choir, just throwing that out there. That's why I recommend this, because this hit home. Laziness, we all have lazy days. Bad habits, that one's the heaviest. And arrogance, nobody wants to work with an arrogant person. And arrogance is also, like, it's just stupid, because if you're arrogant, you think you know everything. And even if you do technically have more training, have more experience than someone else, your experience is different than other people. And they've probably learned a life lesson or an acting lesson or something that you maybe haven't. So you can learn from them. So don't be an arrogant fool. Let me see if I can find another quote. You want to know a little bit about a lot. Yep. Anyway, totally recommend this book for life in general. And yeah, definitely, you gotta get your finances in order, because it's called Show Business. I read a quote from, I think it was a casting director or an agent, and she said, there's more letters in business than there are in show. So you really have to start focusing on the business. You can be the greatest actor. And that was something he said in here. You know, he's a best-selling author, and somebody was asking him for advice, and she was like super offended because he said maybe take a class on sales and marketing. And she's like, I'm a professional author, like I have a degree in writing and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, you can be the world's best writer and not be the world's best selling author. So yeah, on the set, The Hidden Rules of Movie Making Etiquette. It's called Setiquette, by the way. By Paul Solomoff. I had the pleasure of meeting him several years ago. Absolutely nice guy. I'll always have respect for him. He's just so nice, and I had like no experience or anything, and he was just incredibly nice. Gave me this book. Anyway, totally great guy. Get this book. It's super interesting. Even after, like, I've done crew before, and even after doing crew, like, there's still some things where I'm like, I actually have no idea what that person did on set. And it's also kind of hard to know, like, who's who on set, like, what is their job? So, yeah, so this one goes into different, it's like, it breaks things down. So you have the talent department, and then, you know, within that you have actor, actress, stand-in, body double, stunt double, extra, casting director, extra wrangler, and then terms you should know. It gets all into that, you know, and then he has Setiquette, you know, never sit in a chair designated for an actor or the cast, atmosphere, people too, treat them as such, so treat extras nice. Unless you're the director, don't ever give advice to an actor or presume to know how they should play their part. If they want your input, they'll ask. Hallelujah, praise Jesus. That is a rule, let me tell you. Oh. Anyway, yes, that hits a little close to home. Never ask an actor, what have you done that I would have seen you in? Anyway, love it. So, yeah, there's a lot of things in that. Here's a quote. First thing I knew to do was to accept the fact that I knew nothing. He has, like, advice in here, and sometimes he just has, like, funny stories from other people, and then there, you know, he breaks it down, like, not just the actors, like, the grip department, and terms like pancake, a thin wood box used to elevate actors or objects. Everybody knows about apple boxes, but pancake. Chuckle clamp. Or, sorry, knuckle clamp. I can't read. Scrim, silk, jib arm, baffle, C-47, which that's kind of funny. I don't know why it's called C-47, but it's literally just a clothespin. And if you ever see anyone on set wearing a clothespin, they're a grip. That's like a huge thing for grips. So yeah, in order to not keep this video from being extremely long, get this book. I do own this book. It's a great one to have so that you can go back and look, like, if you were on a set, like, who was that person? What did they do? Or whatever. Because honestly, like, I've been on a lot of sets, and I'm still, like, I have no idea what the person's job was that talked to me. And I mean, you don't have to know their job to be nice to them or to have a conversation with them, but it's still nice to know their job so you don't go up to somebody and be like, hey, can you get me a fruit snack? And they're not a PA. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Anyway, it's really great. So yeah, I strongly suggest checking things out at the library. Rich Dad Poor Dad I got at the library. Have to return it soon. So yeah, definitely do that kind of stuff and read more. Reading is essential. And watch more movies, that's also essential. Oh, and yeah. Rich Dad Poor Dad, he gets into taxes and how you can like kill stuff off for your business. So, motivation to read that book. I'm just saying. Anyway, I hope these help you out. Let me know if you guys have read any of these and your thoughts on them. Yeah, I maybe will do more. There is one book that I plan on reading soon. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah,